We've just got a few burn holes in it. Right, so today we're just going to have a play with the Bormax 2.0. Obviously it's an improvement on the 1.0 by Famag. It's a 50mm boring bit, made in Germany, which is always a good sign. And allegedly it's Wunderbar, so we're going to have a great time testing this. So yeah, it drills a 50mm hole. It claims rapid drilling into softwood, as in hardwood, chipboard, MDF and many more. Very high lifetime due to the new Bormax geometry, and there's even a graph. So all we're going to do is, if you're interested in buying one of these, stay tuned, and we're just going to test it in various different mediums. So we've got a bit of plywood, 1/2 inch, some 1/2 inch green MDF or moisture resistant MDF, and then we've also got some softwood behind me. We're going to try it in that. So let's get started. We've got our trusty battle scarred Makita there. We'll stick it in and see if we can drill some holes. And just to help us out, because drilling through MDF is sometimes a bit tricky and it starts to fur up the bit, we've got a bit of dust extraction. So hopefully we can suck off any excess dust and any furring. Okay. The problem with all this type of bit is they always fur up with MDF. It's just one of the downsides to MDF. So we'll just put our hoover on. We'll just keep our hoover. Just keep our hoover next to it. See how we get on. So we're through. Well, you can see we're nearly through. Drill through there. So yeah, it's a fairly neat cut. There's no burning. Wow. So yeah, that's our first hole in our MDF, and you can see it's a fairly neat cut. There's no burning or damage. It's not often you'd see the inside of the MDF on a project, but if you're drilling out some holes for some handles, it does leave a nice finish on the inside. So yeah, quite impressed with that. And due to these grooves, I think it's these grooves on the bit that just help the edges of the tool cut through. So yeah, quite happy with that. We'll try it on some plywood now. Right, so now we've got some plywood in front of us. I'm thinking that the bit will actually perform a bit better. They tend to work better on plywood. It cuts through easy, it doesn't fur up like MDF. So we'll just try and drill a test hole. So we drilled through from... Didn't actually mean to do that. Wow, I thought that would be worse. I thought that would be a lot worse. I was trying to drill through from both sides, but I actually slipped and went right through. But as you can see, it's still left a neat edge. Again, due to these cutting grooves on the edge of the tool, it does tend to leave a really nice finish around the circumference of the circle there. So quite impressed with that. Yeah. So I went through a bit too quickly there. So I'm just going to try and give this another test and show you how you can avoid blowout if you're doing this for yourself. So yeah, it's a neat hole. So once you're nearly all the way through, you can turn it around. Start your cutter up. And that's the best way to avoid your blowout. And as you can see, that was the first one we did where I went right through, and that's the second one. It's quite hard on this tool because you have to drill quite close, almost all the way through, to get your point to poke out to find your centre of your hole when you drill it from the other side. But yeah, very impressed with that. Right, so we just tested our MDF and our plywood, and we're happy with the results there. It didn't burn the edges. So now we're just going to do the same test again, but we've just got a block of softwood, some red 3x2. So we'll start again, put our pinprick in the middle. very impressed with that. It's a neat hole. Obviously it's cutting quite well because it takes quite a lot of effort to drill a 50mm hole, but that's going okay. Yeah, the tool does quite a good job of clearing the dust out. As you're drilling, it tends to pull the dust out, and as you can see, it's not burnt around the edges, which is pretty impressive. I'll just put something under it. Still can't see anything poking out. So now we can see our hole. We've got our mark there. We can line it up with the point of our tool again and neatly drill it from the other side. That just avoids any tear out. So yeah, that's a really nice cut. Again, around the edges there's no burning whatsoever, and I often have trouble forcing a 50mm bit through, but with the Bormax, it seems to make it straightforward. So yeah, give it a thumbs up. Wunderbar.